Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. The wild card round of 2016 NFL playoffs are here, and we are right now going to cover all four games with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Why the hell not? Joe Duffy, thanks for being with us. Let's start with KC Houston. I'll tell you, Joe Duffy, a lot of times in the NFL wild card round, there's usually like one or two plays that I'm really liking. The four games, they'll look pretty tough this year. And KC Houston, this is a classic one, right? KC, an excellent team, borderline awesome, great defense, an offense that is better than in years past. They do have some potency downfield, deep, right? But Houston, strong defense themselves at times. They probably should be an underdog here, even at home. But at 3 points, kind of getting up there. And the total, both these teams were kind of under trenders on the year, but 40 is very low, could easily wind up, getting over the total late, early, one way or another. So I'm not sure I'd love the under here at all. Houston +3, total's 40. What do you think, Joe?
Well, Peter, you brought up a very good point. It is a very low total, and not surprisingly, totals of 40 or less have gone over 57.5% of the time in the NFL playoffs. Look, the Chiefs, I guess they're kind of a perfect example of what I always say, that handicapping totals is more about pace than it is actual offensive or defensive competence. This will probably surprise a lot of people, but Kansas City is actually fourth in the NFL based on points per play, but they do play a very slow down offense. But of course, the total very much takes into consideration that they don't have really a high-powered offense, but they actually get 0.5 yards per rush and 0.2 yards per pass above what their opponent normally allows. They certainly have some playmakers with Charndrick West, Jeremy Maclin, Travis Kelce. And we've been talking all year. I think that in the case of Houston, DeAndre Hopkins is probably the single most underrated weapon in the league. And what I've also said all year is that Hoyer is certainly the best quarterback they have. So this total is a little bit too low. Remember, this could be a low-scoring game and still go over the total. So I really think the total is a pretty rock-solid play.
Yeah, I mean, things can change, 180 in the playoffs, but just looking over their recent games, right? Houston 3-6 over/under in their last 9, and the unders were all by big margins, and the overs were mostly very slim margins. And KC, of course, went under in 3 out of their last 4. But sometimes, the right thing to do in the postseason is just to sort of reverse 180 from what happened in the regular season. You want to go official with that, Joe Duffy? Over 40 in KC Houston?
Yeah, we will go official with that, and I think what you were talking about, don't worry about what I call the psychological juice. I know sometimes it's easier to bet low totals under, high totals over, but I do think the over is a very good percentage play.
All right, sounds good, Joe. OffshoreInsiders.com is your website. Give a plug for that, Joe Duffy.
Coming off another spectacular weekend, 5-1 in the NFL, and of course it was a very late touchdown in the Cincinnati game, our only loser, but a spectacular year and a good finish to the year. Anyway, NFL playoffs, been doing this. This will be my 29th season, almost all of them winners. This one will be great portfolio for this in the national championship game, offshoreinsiders.com.
Thanks, Joe.